Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where last episode we pushed up into this choke point, and we need to get through this choke point and into Ukraine proper so that we can actually fight this war. We're going to have some problems once we get there due to the number of enemies that exist, I suspect, but manpower is a much bigger issue for them than it is for us. So we still need to push forward here, and let's see how much gain we can actually get. That's the real question. Of course, we're working through our deficit of tanks. That's a really good sign. And we're also seeing our infantry equipment. We've got a lot stored up there. We need some additional advanced artillery, it looks like. How many of these do we have stored up? It's not actually switching over to that. Okay, so that's noted for now. Well, we'll just continue to press in over here for now. Keep in mind, Ukraine has 0 manpower right now, but Abkhazia, who we're fighting down over here, does have manpower. So that is absolutely noted for the moment. But they won't last very much longer. Their capital's right here, and they don't have much territory here at all. There's also these guys over here, and this is Chaldea. They have access to about 200k manpower as well. But none of that is hugely significant numbers of manpower. Now, one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to use this armored division here to punch in up over this direction, specifically. I want to launch an attack here. A very significant attack. Like this. I want to push up. I want to take Boti. And we also pushed here, which actually kind of surprises me. I want to dig in over here where possible, and we're just going to continue to push it. I'm surprised that they're not trying to take this back more thoroughly. But we also pushed them in right here, so we're actually doing very well with this push right now. But right up against the coastline, this is our primary focus. If we can take up to here, anything back here has certainly fallen, because at that point, they have no way to get supplies through. From Ukraine proper, that is. So that's all fine. We'll just continue to push over here, and I want to build defenses as we push, make it just extraordinarily expensive for them to push us out. That's the dream right now. So at this moment, I'm just keeping an eye on the situation here. It looks reasonably fine. They're having serious supply issues out over here, by the way. So that's good. And I'm wondering how our supplies are. We've pushed up a fair amount. Ah, we took this logistics hub right here, which we can't change the motorization level on. I guess it needs to update? Sure. It probably needs to change the railway gauge. No, it's connected. Oh, this is being constructed. Right. I forgot about that. We're constructing this right here. Okay, so that's understood. I want you to get up here and help defend. They're attacking here very heavily, and we certainly need to continue to defend this area. There we go. So that should be fine. I want to make sure that we have land ports going in there. We do. We're still attacking right here. And we're not really breaking through. We are making progress, but we need additional progress here. They're attacking here very consistently, which means that our logistics hub here is not making very much progress. That's noted. Where's the next logistics hub? It would be actually right here. So that's fine. Yeah, let's continue to pressure right here. We have logistics issues here, so I don't want to attack with those guys. That seems fine. What is this? They're naval invading here. Okay, we'll pull some of our reserve forces over this way. So these guys, they're part of multiple armies. I want to grab just these for now. They're going to frontline here, with the goal being to offensive line, straight through here, like that. Okay, so they're going to make their way up there, and it's going to be a little obnoxious for us, for sure. We'll see if we manage to take this. Yes, we got here in time. Okay, they lose. This is just over. Completely and totally. They have no source of supplies. So these guys all just die. And these are proper Ukraine forces here, so they can't replace those. They don't have the manpower for it, so that's absolutely wonderful. That's just 7 divisions gone. So we're delighted by that, of course. Supplies up here continue to be tight. They continue to attack here relentlessly. But we just took this position. So with that in mind, this hub is going to be motorized, and we need to make sure that our rail here is good. It is, but I'm going to upgrade these just to be on the safe side. So we'll get supplies right up over here, and that's going to be a big shift for us over on this front. So that's wonderful. We're going to get a lot more supply coverage going through over here shortly. As soon as this actually is connected in, which it isn't yet. Abkhazia just capitulated. That's a big deal. Oh, that's a really big deal. We need to get some units up over here for sure. We need to see if we can hold these 2 positions. We might be able to. This is an absolutely enormous deal, if this is true. They're not cut off right now, but they're very close. Attack here as well. And we've got these infantry units here. I'm going to want to grab some of these guys up over here, and I'm going to want them to be on this line. So Abkhazia surrendering is, of course, an enormous deal. I want to grab this army group here, and their goal is going to be to offensive line simply like that. They're just going to clean this all up. So we're going to get that going, and if we can take this position, or this position, or this position, any of them, it's pretty over for these guys that are in this pocket. And that's wonderful. That's exactly the kind of thing we want to see. So I want these infantry attacking here. They immediately gave up. How about here? Okay, that's a little better. That's a little better. We're pushing in over this direction, but they can still retreat out of here, which is not what we want. For sure. But we just took this. Okay. That's enormous. Now what we need to do is we need to dig in right here. I don't really care about digging in down here. This isn't all that relevant. But that was huge right there. So if we look at the fill-in over this direction, and yeah, high-speed water engines, yeah, this fill-in is absolutely correct. I don't think we have any other technologies to research at this moment, so we might just right-click that notification. I just want to make sure for now, we do have some, but they're going to require special projects, which we are working on, but there's only so much that we can do at any given time. So that's understood. At this moment, we are maxed on our technology otherwise. We do have these 2 unassigned divisions here, and they're going to go into this reserve unit. Perfect. And at this moment, all we need to do is just starve these guys out. That's all that needs to happen right now. So this is all looking good, in theory, at this moment. We need to have these guys move in this direction and just slowly siege this out. Let them exhaust themselves. The only source of supply that they have is from this victory point, this victory point. Technically, we have this victory point and this victory point. Chaldea does have access to some amount of manpower here, but this is not a major issue at this moment. We got pushed back in cars. That's very unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. That logistics hub lost all of its progress, but it had made very little progress because we were constantly under attack there. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to pull the tanks that are assigned here. I want to pull them over to here instead. So we're going to have no one assigned here other than the infantry units. There we go. They're going to try to attack here, but they're not going to make much progress. We've already got some land forts going there. So we're pulling our tanks back over this direction, and that should allow us to push through over this direction. And all of these units eventually will be stack wiped. It's just a matter of time. They do not have the supply or manpower throughput to be able to hold this position for very long. Now I want to check in on how we're doing on our tanks. 47-45. Beautiful. That is exactly the kind of thing that I wanted to see here. Now they're attacking us, and that's an interesting choice. Definitely not what I would be doing in this situation because they need to preserve their supplies as long as possible to try to do a breakthrough up here. Or a naval invasion here and encircle our forward forces, but that would be risky for sure. As of right now, we just play this patient. Very, very patient indeed. We are going to have an issue up over here with pushing through this choke point, of course. That's going to be complicated. This needs to be motorized, this hub, and that'll take some of the pressure off of this hub. How are we doing in terms of our railway here? Well, this railway could definitely be upgraded to a level 5, and that looks good. As you can see, we're beginning to push back these guys. There's not much that they can do because they just don't have any capacity to do anything. And they're exhausting their fighting strength by trying to break out, and this is not going to go well for them at all. It's just all there is to it. So I want to check in on the status of infrastructure up over here. Aha! Infrastructure up here is going to be a huge deal. We got to get that going right now. So that's underway, and we may want to just go ahead and build in land defenses here just to be on the safe side. We'll just let that go, and we're losing this defense here. I'm going to move a lot of forces in right here, and they're going to help defend this. Because Kars is under constant attack. This is now basically impossible for them to take, and we're just going to push through up over this direction. Are they doing this again? They are. Wow, that's a lot, actually. I'm thinking about... The problem is these guys are right here. I'm thinking about allowing this to happen to a certain degree. Yes. This is pretty ideal right now. Get over here. An offensive line like this. And go ahead and execute that. So they're going to make their way over, and these guys have no source of supply right now. We have our reinforcements on the way in, and they're trying to attack here to take this position. If they take it, that's fine. We actually kind of like that. But this is going to be another 8 divisions that they just straight up lose. And they're gone. They never had a chance. This is really, really good for us. I want to check in now. How many units does Ukraine have deployed? So, oh, they have 800k manpower? They went to service by requirement. Okay. So they're starting to take some serious hits to their other factors. Gotcha. So they'll have manpower, but if they keep throwing it away like this... Oh, hello. I didn't notice these guys. If they keep throwing it away like this, then this is not going to go well for them, right? So we're just going to attack these out over here. We've got forces in this area, and I actually want to let them land here in locations where they're not going to have supply, and then just stack wipe them like this. This is ideal. There we go. So that was another, I believe, 8 divisions. So that was 16 divisions that we just obliterated over here. And that's beautiful. And of course, we've got all these guys pocketed, and we're just slowly pushing our way through here. I want to take all of these tank units and attack here. I want to widen this gap here. So I want to push these guys back a little bit. This is still pretty precarious out over this direction and could still result in significant problems. We are quite dug in up over here, to be clear. But this is going to be much better if we do it this way. So widen this out. That seems wonderful. And we'll just continue to press in over this way. And these guys, like I said, they have very few places to go. They've got Yerevan here, they've got Nuka, and they've got Tiflis. And that's it. We're currently actively attacking Tiflis. And that's fine. I actually like this attack. So we'll defend from this attack. And we'll attack into Tiflis as soon as it's over. This is going to be a counterattack. Our generals concurred. Our generals were like, yes, we're doing this. And I agree. So they're continually trying to attack out over this direction. It isn't going to help them. And we're just going to slowly push them back this direction. So I'm looking at this up here. That's fine. Okay, I want these guys to be positioned a little bit more centrally up over this direction. This unit, this army has no orders. I'll assign it up here. Okay. It may or may not go up here. It probably won't due to supply constraints, and that's fine. So now the question is, do we want to be attacking up over here? And the answer is absolutely we do. I'm going to offensive line up to about here for now. Actually, a little further than that. I want to offensive line to here for now. We're going to launch this attack, but I'm going to have it be carefully executed. Yeah, there we go. So we'll push through this, but only where it's strictly speaking necessary. Or where our generals think that they have a strong advantage. So that'll be fine. We just took Tiflis, but the question is, can we hold it? And I think the answer to that is probably. Probably. Tiflis falling is a big deal, because that means that we can push up right here, which is where I want to. We're currently attacking here. I don't want that. I want to attack here. Okay. We've got additional tanks rolling in here. That's understood. Attacking here is also good, and we're going to do that. But I want to attack both of these areas right now. I'd love to get these guys isolated and wiped. So that'll all be fine. And the question is, are we going to make any gains up over this way? Well, yeah, but these guys immediately forgot about their orders to hold this area. Well, that's unfortunate. Just hold here. Okay, that'll do for now. We'll get these taken care of, and that's okay. So at this point, they're down to 2 victory points here. Yerevan and Nuka. There's very little that they can do about this, and we're going to cut them off in multiple ways here. This is a very dire situation for them. This is incredibly dire, in fact. Are we currently taking this position here? Because we should be. Get over here. That'll get this fully cut off. And we just took this. Attack. So these guys are isolated now. That is another 18 divisions encircled. Absolutely wonderful. And at this point, there's very little that Ukraine can do other than continually try to naval invade over here. We could stop it, but honestly, I want them to keep doing that because they're just throwing troops away. We could use our navy to stop them, but I don't see a reason to. So we'll just keep allowing it for now. These guys are all going to stack wipe. That is, again, 18 divisions going away. We're going to attack right here and look to get all of these guys cut off. That's the dream at this point. I want to use these tanks to attack where possible. And this is going very well at this juncture. They're losing a lot of troops right now. So they've lost 14 million, we've lost 10 million. This is going extraordinarily well. So now the question is, what is Ukraine at for manpower? Well, they're going to be mobilizing up for a while since they're on service by requirement. And that is understood. Now, we could go to service by requirement ourselves. We're on extensive conscription here, but we could do this. We would prefer not to. We'll see if it becomes a thing or not. We're about to take right here, which is also going to cut these off. So these guys are now cut off from these guys, and that's wonderful. Absolutely phenomenal. So this choke point is still going to be a bit tough for us to fight through. I think we'll be able to do it without any major problems. The real question is what happens when we get up onto those plains and have much, much wider fronts. That's going to be interesting because our army is still smaller than Ukraine's army. If we look at their total army count, actually, we can see it better from here. We can see that they've got fielded 5 to 7.5 million manpower. We've got 2 million. So there's that going on. That's a bit problematic for us, for sure. But as long as we're smart, I think it's okay. So we're just going to continue to push through here. This is going to be like 15 additional divisions stack wiped out over here. No problem. This is all about to fall. Get in here. Get rid of them. They do have small access to supply from that victory point, but it's very small. So we're continuing to attack over here. I want these guys to get in here and push through there. Perfect. They've got a lot of divisions down over here still. And we do need to change around our army group order here. We need to have an offensive line be down here. So we'll go ahead and do that. Perfect. We see these guys beginning to stack wipe. That's looking good. They're down to 8 units remaining, and they're all gone. Fantastic. Now all that's left is this pocket here, and then pushing up this direction. So that seems excellent. We're still going to have our tanks be focused on cleaning out this pocket. And now the question is, how many more Chaldea's not actually capitulated? Right, they have some territory out over here, if I remember correctly. Yes. Gotcha. Okay, that's fine. We'll just continue to push through here for now. I'd love to get in here to start pressuring Yerevan. This is where they're getting their supplies from that are down over here. What paltry supplies they're getting. So we're going to hard pressure right here. And we're going to push them right on back. 9 days. Wow. Okay. So they're going to keep holding out here for a while. 3, 4. Yeah, they're still holding, but eventually they'll get kicked out of here. Okay, they moved a bunch of reinforcements in, but we'll still continue to attack here. This is absolutely fine. They have a lot of divisions down here, and we don't care exactly. We're still going to keep pushing through here, and we're just going to keep doing damage to them. They cannot keep up with the pace of this battle. They have no solid supply flow for the moment. Unless they're flowing through the Golden Horde, but I doubt that they are. I doubt that they are. So up over this direction, we could try launching an attack here and see what happens. Taking over this naval base would be very good. Okay. That's fine. Not a big deal there. We'll just continue to pressure out this direction. If we can take any of these, that's great. They've got a lot of divisions down here. Like, a lot of divisions. I don't know exactly how many divisions they have here, but if I had to guess, this is probably 500,000 men. Maybe more. So this is a very bad situation for them, of course. We're going to continue to attack over here with everything we've got. They're trying to break out here, and they keep trying to do that, and it keeps not working. So that's exciting. We just took this position, and we have no one over here on this side. So I want to make sure that we have some forces not there. Hang on. I want to make sure we have some forces assigned to be... No. Assigned to be here. Okay, we'll just order it this way. Get in here. These forces will try to leave this area when they're not actively fighting. But let's just push in here for now. I want these guys... Why are you heading here? Head on down here. There we go. So we're actually winning all of these battles right now. We're attacking all 3 of the remaining locations, and we're doing well for all of them. Okay, the central one just flipped. I'm not terribly shocked about that. It's fine. Yerevan flipped as well. Again, that's fine. Wait, we just took the central position. Yerevan is now isolated. Everyone that can, get in here. We're stack wiping some units from Yerevan. And these guys are isolated as well, and will crumble very shortly. Everybody get in here. Wipe this out. They're trying to break out this direction. That's never going to work. So these stack wipes are continuing. They still have a lot of forces here in Yerevan. But that's not going to last very much longer. Any moment now. We're going to have this. Okay, there we see a number of stack wipes out over this way. That's good. And more stack wipes happening here. That's all dealt with. Everyone currently on screen, get into Yerevan. There we go. Now we're starting to see some proper stack wipes here. Attacking from multiple directions with this number of troops, they're going to have a very hard time with this. Our supply network has a hard time with it too, to be sure. But their supply network is way, way rougher. Well, we're going to wipe any more of these? Get in here, everyone who can. They're holding out for now, but there's another wipe. There's another and another. One of these days, they're going to all go away. So we managed to take this position, surprisingly. Let's bulk up the naval base here, and let's also get that motorization level up, and also make sure that this is good. It is. We could think about building a logistics hub back here too, and I'm going to get started on that. I don't know that it'll actually be useful exactly. We should definitely be motorizing over here though. That'll get us a lot better logistics in this area. So that all looks good. Get in here, everybody. Keep focusing on this. They've only got so many troops here, and that number is 20 divisions, now 19 divisions. So that's still a lot of divisions that are in here for sure. But look at that. They're up over 15 million losses now. That's insane. And that number is just going to continue to increase. They're down to only having 4 divisions here. Guys, go. Keep going. I don't care about your organization. They have nothing. Just keep going. So we're estimating that this battle will take a couple more days. They're down to 2 divisions, and those 2 divisions are almost gone. There we go. Okay, so this all fell. Now we need to take our tanks up to the front here. And of course, the real problem here is the fact that, well, we need to have a decent front line set up. What I really would like for this front line would be like this. I don't know how realistic that is, but that would be the dream. So we're going to get our tanks up here, and we'll get more infantry up here eventually, but this will be enough infantry for this choke point for now. So a lot of these guys are going to need to be spread out. I'm just going to do that real quick here. It'll be something kind of like... those guys are already on their way up. Yeah. We'll just let this sit for now, and we'll see what this ends up looking like. The attrition over here is rough. But we need to get some of these forces out of here anyway. Okay, let's have these guys head out over here for now. They can just be standing there for the moment. And then these are heading up. Okay, that seems fine. So our tanks are heading up here, and as they arrive, they'll begin to push up this choke point. And we only see 5 divisions from Ukraine at this time. Their fielded manpower hasn't significantly dropped. So where are they? They did not invade Africa. Okay. I don't know where they are. They're not here. And that's a little spooky to me. But we'll take as much of this choke point as we can before they arrive. We know that they've got manpower again, so that's definitely noted. They're up to 3 million, by the way. They have more manpower than us right now, and that's absolutely noted. But we're just going to continue to push through here for now. Our tanks are continuing to pile into this gap. Okay, tanks. Just a tank. Get in here. One of these days, we'll get that done. Okay, they brought in some paratroopers. They have major logistics issues. Everybody, get up here. We're just trying to push through this as quickly as we can before they show up with additional forces, right? That's the dream here. We have a lot of forces here, and it's going to cause us supply issues. They're bringing additional forces in consistently. But if we can just push them out, that would be amazing. It is about time to put a cut in here, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see about pushing up here and widening up this front. That's going to be a very useful thing for us, especially if we can get onto Crimea uncontested. We'll see if that becomes a thing or not. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, the Lounge STL, Spock, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.